So Zach, I would like for you now to tell us that you found a song. If I'm your principal and I say, Zach, I want you to show me that you can teach an integrated lesson using this song, what would you do with it? Or what would you not do with it?
Well, I have Achshav, which I think is a good song. And I guess I'm just a little slow this morning because I'm not really, I'm not sure what I'm looking for. I think that we can look at the Hebrew text and maybe talk about that.
I don't think you're slow. I think you're right on. That could be something you could do as well. Yeah.
You could take hot cross buns and do like a math or a cooking lesson with it, because you have the eighth notes and the quarter notes and fractions and measurements. You can measure stuff, make bread or something.
Okay. So as the teacher, you're telling me I could then pull my musical components out, which would be what?
Note values and rhythm.
Rhythm, exactly. So I'm doing something with the rhythm here, and maybe I'm making a game to go along with it to reinforce the rhythm. And then for my math thing that you talked about, I could then focus in on fractions. So then I need to be able to go to the EOLs for math, find out what those are, how does it connect, and then keep that in mind at the same time. Good. Amy.
Okay, well I found this song and it looks like it's kind of cheesy, but it's just talking about all the different like songs and stories that you can learn from. It's like, the refrain goes like, sing your story. And there's all these pictures of like different cultures and stuff. So you could
looking at it, what would be a musical outcome? Just look at that. If I'm going to plan a lesson, I've got to have two outcomes, one in music, one in another content. What, by looking at that, would be your musical outcome?
Syncopation.
We could pull out syncopation and do something with it. What could be another content area that you connect it to or integrate it with?
I don't know, maybe rhyming words.
Okay.
With the text.
That's right. So you have to just be able to figure out what are the EOLs for that and then make it work to meet that. That's it. Scott?
I have a song called A Song of One. And
a song of what?
A Song of One.
Okay.
And there's a lot of things going on because as you go through the verses, you're saying a song of one, a song of two, a song of three. And it's all about nature, so you could connect it like musically to form and verses and that kind of idea, but also touch upon like, how like the sun and the trees and kind of talking about nature.
What would you do with that? For what content?
I would think more toward like sciencey maybe, and
you could
talk about like how why does the sun do this?
Photosynthesis.
Yeah.
Maybe But then you got to be able to have the ability to focus in on that. Musical outcome would be.
I was just saying form probably.
Oh, form.
Just because you have the verses and the refrain.
Right. Before I forget, and then we go over to Seth, is what I'm wanting you to see is the things that I'm asking you to tell me are things that we don't want to happen by chance. We want to make sure that we intend for these things to happen. Seth.
Well, this is a song called The Ship in Distress. It's an English ballad. Musically, first of all, it changes in several different meters. It goes into 5, it goes into 6, it goes into 4. You can talk about, you can talk about Dorian mode. You can focus a little bit more on minor.
Okay, so now go to another content and tell us something we can focus on.
Well, I would say language arts-wise, there's definitely a form to beginning, middle, and end of it. So you could talk about literary form. You could also talk about emotion and music and how the mode reflects the emotion.
That's going back to musical content, though, right?
Right, but then I'm going to link that to and then I was going to say how in storytelling do you create an emotion? What kinds of words do you use?
Good.
That's like a dual.
Good, excellent, good. Rebecca?
I'd really like to integrate with history.
Okay.
And social studies, because I think that's one of the maybe the disciplines that kind of gets cheated a little bit. I think in elementary school.
So tell us about your song.
I found there's a whole set that I think I would want to make a unit. Okay.
Just to look at the one piece and say, oh, this is a musical elements I could pull out of here. Oh, I could also think about this in terms of another content area. That's as far as I want you to go right now.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking of this in terms of like a 5th grade class of arts integration because they're a little bit older.
So I would, I would talk maybe about this one, Happy Days Are Here Again, and this is like 20th century
So
pop music.
what are you connecting it to musically, or what element of music are you going to teach?
I'm going to teach, well, musically, it's a style,
So musical styles.
it's different styles.
And you're going to have them listen maybe to different styles to be able to really
Styles
identify.
of that time. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then what is your other content area you're
The other
talking about?
content area is with history.
And then
because
what
this
would you be your
song-
outcome? You want them to know what about history, not about the song,
The Great
but about
Depression.
the Great Depression.
Uh-huh.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Bingo.
It's that simple.
Bingo.
That's all I want for now. Now, to wrap it up, what I'm wanting to say to you is, you saw already, because you really had struggled with keeping it. These are the simple elements. It really takes us more time, and we need to go and explain this and this and this and this. That's right. And to be effective, in my mind, the gospel according to Kevin, is you have to do that, and you have to give yourself the time to do that. The biggest thing I want you to leave here with today is if a principal or a colleague asks you to teach an integrated lesson with them, that you understand that things by chance are not, they're great, but they're just not good enough. If it's really going to be an integrated, you need to be able to think about it and have a product in mind of outcomes in the 2, 3, whatever the content areas you are. Also, is it truly integration if we pay $2,000 and have an artist in residence come into a school and do this great activity, but all of the learning was by chance? Is it worth the $2,000 of our budget to do that? Or would that $2,000 be better spent to add more instruments to our classroom, more curriculum to our classroom, to where we can really dig deep into that? I want you to think about these as we leave. Again, I remind you, there is no agreed upon definition at this point of what arts integration is. It's out there, it's very subjective. Everybody has an opinion, and very few people are agreeing on what it is. So be cautious, have fun with it, and make music, read, write, make math, all of it at the same time. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.